Most other bags feel like they were made by a machine to look expensive. This feels like it was made by a person to be a companion. This is the Motherhouse Kazematou, and the story behind it is as beautiful as the bag itself. Motherhouse was founded in 2006 by Eriko Yamaguchi. I'm sorry if I don't say your name correctly. Her mission wasn't just to make bags, it was to prove that developing nations could make world-class luxury items. She started in Bangladesh, focusing on that really wonderful quality that you get from that area of the local jute and local leathers. And one thing I love about Motherhouse, as I was doing research, something that really drew me to the brand, and I'll talk about how I kind of stumbled upon them in a second, but something that really drew me to the brand is their overall treatment of employees. Even though they work in developing nations, which if you hear about some of the American companies and the work that they contract in developing nations and some of the conditions there, you'll see kind of a stark difference in the way that Motherhouse operates. First off, they own their factories, and for their employees, they provide fair wages, medical benefits, paid time off, medical checkups, and even anniversary time off, paternity and maternity leave. A really solid list of benefits, really comparable in terms of benefits to what you might expect to a company in the West. And that's for their factories in Bangladesh and Nepal. So when you're carrying a Motherhouse bag or a Motherhouse leather good of some kind, you're not just carrying something that looks beautiful, you're participating in ethical sourcing of beautiful and luxury goods. And their philosophy is based on potential. They want you to buy this because it is a world-class piece of gear, not because you pity the people in those countries. They even go as far as to say that they expect that these will be buy-once items, things that you could potentially even pass down, or heirloom items. They also have a really cool program called Special Vintage, which unfortunately for me, I live in the US, but when you live in one of the countries that they sell to, that they have stores, they offer a lifetime unlimited service. So you can take your bag in, get it fixed up, get your zippers fixed, get it restitched if you need to, get it waxed if you have like a wax canvas bag or something, right? They'll really help you take care of it as far as this kind of service guarantee. Again, just furthering that they want you to buy it once and really keep it for as long as possible. Let's talk about the Kazematou itself. Beautiful bag, of course, right? I have it in this brown leather. It comes in, I want to say 6 or 7 other colors. Really depends on availability. I happened to really fall in love with this dark brown leather. Not a huge bag. In terms of footprint, really slim, and you'll see it on my back, same exact thing, just this slim profile. Uses metal zippers all around, has this beautiful grained cowhide with a cotton interior, so all the materials are just super soft to the touch. When you feel this bag, you can really feel the quality of the leather. It's just so soft and nice to touch, actually. Now, empty, it's about 3.5 pounds, so it's got a little bit of heft to it. I wouldn't say it's really heavy, but it's definitely not light, and it's because of that cowhide leather. You can just tell that it's this thick material, so definitely adding to the weight there. All right, so now to talk about a few things that I really love about this bag in its use. First and foremost, we'll go to the front here. This double slit pocket that you have at the front. So you can see that there are 2 zippers here. They are basically a mirror of each other. So when you go inside the bag, you'll see there are really just 2 open spaces with 1 slip pocket on the inside. This slip pocket is fairly large, can definitely fit some of your bigger items. This is not even that large of a battery pack, fits easily in there both vertically and horizontally, depending on kind of how secure you want it to be or need it to be. And then furthermore, on the inside, there is this tiny key leash here. So if you are using keys, or if you do have keys, you are probably going to need something else to attach your keys to if you do need to use them outside of your bag. Of course, if you have them just for like car keys or whatever, and you have one of those, I don't know, distance ones, the ones that are the little key fob thing, right, without an actual key, this maybe will just be perfect. Going back though, just if you keep looking on the inside here, really no frills, just this 1 slip pocket and this little key leash here, nothing else on the inside of that pocket. And then again, mirrored on the front here, you've got a very similar pocket. Again, just has one little slip on the inside, and then no key leash, but just a big open space. Really like this double slit front design with the two slip pockets kind of more up on the bag. The slip pockets are up here. They're not at the bottom of these two front pockets, which is fantastic. Again, if you know me, if you've been following for a while, one of my favorite things, or one of my favorite design features on bags, is when they have this ability, or they do this thing where they are pushing as much stuff in a secure way or in a rigid way to the top of the bag, right? I don't love just having huge open spaces. It does force you to use the bag in a totally different way. All right, and I put a jacket on for this section just because it makes sense for what I'm about to talk about. Number two thing that I love about this bag is just the professional aura that it provides, right? So again, has that beautiful leather, really slim and sleek to the back. Sits really nicely on the back, which is really nice. Sits beautifully on the back, form fits really nicely to your back. It's not a huge bag, so you're never gonna fill it up that much. But of course, depending on the density of your stuff, can get a little bit heavy. But functionally, again, like even now, I have a laptop and a bunch of tech in here basically, and it's, I don't know, pushing maybe like 10 pounds. So not super heavy, but still looks great. Doesn't look like it's folding in on itself or anything. Still just this beautiful silhouette of a bag, which I do really like. Has these kind of bronzy gold zippers with the zipper ties or the zip pulls. Not super flashy, which I like. Again, if I'm going into a professional setting, I think one of the things that I prefer is it to be a little bit muted. So this black leather comes in a navy blue, again, a few standard colors. With that bronzy zipper, it doesn't really scream that it's like a flashy bag, right? So fantastic, really like the implementation. In the brown in particular, I think it's a perfect accent for the color. All right, and the last thing that I just love about this bag, and if you are, again, I've mentioned this already, if you are somebody who loves Evergoods or Boundary Supply or any of those kind of tech bags, you'll see on the inside, it has this just beautiful organization. Functionally, again, it keeps everything up at the top, or it has so many pockets that it can keep things up at the top. So let's dive into the actual bag here. Zippers go all the way to the bottom and just around this edge here, which I really like because then it allows for the bag not to kind of like fold over on itself. It additionally has, you'll notice, some material here that's stitched in on both sides so that it can't just fully flop over. So it's not a clamshell design of any kind. It just gives you enough space that you can really see everything that's going on the inside of the bag here. Let me get a better light shot. There we go. You can really see everything that's going on the inside of the bag. So two upper pockets or upper slip pockets, no zippers or anything, a little bit of dimension for each of them, but no stretching or anything like that. So you can fit some fairly large items. I have glasses with a case in here, my phone, and a mobile keyboard. Then on the inside, I'm just keeping my headphones. There is another, let's see if we can see this. There is another mini slip right here. This is an internal water bottle compartment. I'm just putting my tech kit in here, but this internal water bottle compartment is nice, especially just keeping your water bottle upright. A lot of water bottles, though they do say they're leak proof and this and that, the more you use them, the more you put them in the wash, of course, they start to lose that seal. So having something that you can keep upright, really nice. I will say it is on the tiny side, so you can't fit any of those really large water bottles in there. It's really more for that 20 ounce, maybe 24 ounce kind of thin boy, which is still really nice for you to be able to carry. But I will just say it's not stretchable or anything. It does collapse. It's just a piece of floppy material overall. So if you don't want to use it, it just disappears into the bag, which is really nice. But again, not expandable, doesn't fit a huge water bottle, but not a deal breaker by any means. And then just behind these two front slip pockets is another zippered pocket. Now this zippered pocket doesn't go all the way down. It goes probably about halfway or maybe a hand's width down at the bag. I'm already here. You can see I'm not even quite to my wrist and I'm at the bottom here, right? So it's not super deep. Again, keeping everything really just tucked up in the bag, which is fantastic. And then last but not least, of course, just in the back, there is a standard laptop compartment. Has a nice little slip here. I am keeping a notebook in it. So not a huge slip. This is just a field notes notebook, so nothing too big. Doesn't have a ton of dimension either. If you got a smaller phone, you might be able to fit it in there. But again, nice little laptop sleeve. It is not suspended, so if that's something that's really critical for you, if you're gonna find yourself banging around with a bag, or if somebody else is gonna be handling it for whatever reason, just something to be aware of. If you wanna stuff something at the bottom of there, just so you make sure anything that you have in the bottom is protected, might also be helpful. There is a seam right here, so there probably is a nice thick layer at the bottom there, but again, functionally, if it's not actually lifted off the bottom of the bag, you could always stand a chance to hurt your laptop. So not my favorite thing, but something to just be aware of. Goes all the way, your laptop goes all the way to the bottom. That being said, it is a huge compartment overall. It can fit up to about a 15.5, 16 inch laptop. So depending on kind of the weight of your laptop, I have a 15-inch tablet that fit in here super easily. So fits definitely a pretty big laptop. Again, depending on what you have, if you have a larger MacBook, if you've got a larger Dell or anything like that, should fit in here pretty comfortably. Okay, now let's talk about a couple of things that I don't exactly love. I wish they maybe would update. And again, I know there are some trade-offs given that this is a very professional bag. This harness system, a little bit of padding, right? Not so bad. Padding both on the shoulder straps, which I appreciate, and on the back of the bag here. But when you look at it, it basically disappears when you go into this side profile. So this padding, it is a nice mesh. It is fairly breathable, but it's not super comfortable, right? So if you're using this as like a secondary bag for travel, if you're going on business travel of some kind, you want to have something professional for the setting that you're getting to. Awesome bag, right? Like, it looks great. But if you're going to be carrying it for hours through the airport and, you know, it doesn't have a luggage pass-through, so you likely will be carrying it on your back, right? Maybe you're going to be putting it on a nicer roller bag. If it moves pretty smoothly, this is probably not going to have any problems. It stands upright pretty easily. But again, no luggage pass through, no way of like tightening these straps so that you can kind of secure it there. It's just a little bit more of a hassle, right? So you might be wearing it on your back, not super comfortable to wear for many hours. Definitely more of like a city EDC. I go to, you know, a legal office, a tech office, whatever, where I want to look a little bit more professional. This is made for the city, really, I would say, not necessarily as a secondary travel bag. So a little bit of a trade-off there, just given it's really overly professional look. Second thing, and this is more of a nitpick, I would just love to see a couple of more size options. The other bags that they offer are basically just totally different. They're not quite variations of this, and I did really like this design. I would love to see something maybe a little bit bigger and maybe something a little bit smaller, optimizing for the line. I think that this, again, bag just looks fantastic. The silhouette is great. This one fits me pretty well, but I could go 2, maybe even 4 liters bigger, maybe have another kind of quick access pocket at the top or something, just a little bit more. To give you that little bit extra if you're a little bit bigger like me. And again, to optimize the line. It's just beautiful the way that it is. I think if it could go to more people, that would just be better. All right, so who is the Kazematou for? I would say those folks who really are looking for a professional bag and they are tired of that like Tumi, Briggs & Riley look. Especially if you work in a place where everybody's got one of those bags, which I think we all kind of work in a place like that, which, yeah, you know, is what it is. If you want to stand out a little bit in a professional setting with a nice bag, with something nice and beautiful and leather, I would definitely go with something like this. I did a review on some Bleu de Chauffe bags when I was on the Carryology channel. Fantastic bags as well, right? These are standout leather items that are really well made, have a good brand behind them, and are unique enough to stand out in a crowd of, again, Tumis and Briggs and Riley and all those really common brands. Who the Kazematou is not for, like I mentioned, if you are a traveler and you are looking for that like awesome secondary bag, even if it's for professional uses, I would say you probably are going to want to look at something else. If you are a super frequent traveler, this is not going to meet your comfort needs long-term, in my opinion. Let me know what you think of the Kazematou in the comments below. If you've got other leather bags that you want me to test out, or other companies that I don't know about, especially all over the world, like Motherhouse is representing some of those East Asian countries, please put them in the comments below. I would love to hear more about them. See if maybe I can procure some of those bags and show them all to you. And, you know, while you're down there in the comments, as usual, don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified. We will be coming with new videos every single week. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.